After trying out the Switch 2, doing some research on my own, and having some time to think about what my opinions truly are on this console, in this video I will tell you guys whether or not I think you should get the Nintendo Switch 2. By far, the most popular point of discussion when it comes to this new console is the egregious price point, which has had even the most die-hard of Nintendo fans in an uproar, understandably so. Let's get down to business and answer, is the Nintendo Switch 2 even worth your money? First off, I want to talk about games specifically, because I know this is a huge point of contention for people, and $80 for a digital game and $90 for a physical is just insane. And you should never pay $90 for a video game, a standard edition of a game ever. But I do want to explain a bit more about this, because after doing some research, I've come to some very interesting conclusions. The first of which being that the $80 price point is something that Nintendo said will not be applying to the vast majority of Nintendo Switch games, and for now it is just going to be Mario Kart World at that price point. They said the average price you can expect for a game is $70. Now, about this $90 price point, because I see a lot of people very scared of this. The $80 for a digital and $90 for a physical is insane. You're paying $100 for a physical standard edition of a game. Like, at that point, I mean, that's just, I'm gonna attack somebody if they try to charge me $90 for a game. But if you actually do a bit of research, I don't even know where people came up with this 90 number. This is just not even a true thing. At least if you're living in the United States of America, there is no $90 physical game you can buy. You can't even try. There's no game that's out there that is going to be that much that is a mainline Nintendo Switch 2 game. I don't know if people made this up or people just completely kind of misunderstood how other regions are doing it. But yeah, in the United States of America, there is just no game that is that much, luckily. And, you know, because I was even, when somebody first told me about that, I was like, 90? Like, 90 is so much. But luckily, even the mainline Nintendo Switch 2 games will, on average, probably be around 70 at the maximum, which is something that I think should be a bit relieving to people. But let's actually get into the main point of discussion, which is the console. Now, if you're not aware, Nintendo Switch 2 is priced at $450 US, at least as of today. I don't know if it's going to increase or decrease with time, but going off of that current price point, that is a $100 bump up from the original Nintendo Switch. And for good reason, people are very mad at this because they're like, I gotta pay $100 extra for this new console. But after actually doing the math and going back and accounting for inflation, you actually realize that the original Nintendo Switch, which was $350 back in 2017, if we were purchasing it in today's money, would actually go to $459, which is $9 more expensive than its modern day counterpart. So really, the Nintendo Switch 2 isn't more expensive than the Nintendo Switch 1. The Nintendo Switch 1, if it were sold today, would be nearly $10 more for a strictly inferior console, and I want to get into that. The Nintendo Switch 2 is objectively far better than the original Nintendo Switch, with a frame rate of 120 FPS, which is shockingly high.
The screen supports up to 120 frames per second, allowing for smoother gameplay in supported titles.
Like, almost to the point where I wouldn't believe it if I wasn't actually able to use it. But in my time playing with the console, I can attest that it actually does run at 120 FPS. And in docked mode, it can be at 4K resolution at the same time.
Use the Nintendo Switch 2 dock to connect to your TV and enable up to 4K resolution.
Which is like really crazy because even the PS5 sometimes struggles to do this and many games aren't able to. So this is really a wild fact. Also, with the console having a larger screen, larger Joy-Cons that we're hoping do not have drift, and an all-out better kickstand, I think that this is just very much an objectively better console. It's just an overall upgrade in all departments, and something that, when compared to the Nintendo Switch, there's no features about the Switch that are better, and it's literally cheaper than the Nintendo Switch was when the Nintendo Switch launched back in 2017. So when you are actually accounting for things like that, if you're really on the fence about whether or not you should get this console, do I think you should get it? That's completely up to you. Do I think it's worth getting? Yeah, of course. But if you just got a Switch, then obviously you don't want to spend that kind of money. It's really going to be up to you. But I do see all these people making claims like this is the most expensive, outrageous purchase you will ever make. And really, it's not that crazy when you think about the fact that it's cheaper than the Switch would be if sold today. And it's just better hardware, better software all across the board. It runs better screen, everything. So, I hope that does alleviate some people's stress around the console, and it makes the decision-making process a bit easier for some people. And again, I'm not telling anybody to buy the console. If you don't want to buy it, obviously don't spend your money on it. But it isn't as bad as some people are making it out to be because of things like inflation. These just are going to be the way that prices kind of rise with time. And it's not weird at all. So, yeah, be sure to leave in the comments down below if you think you're going to get a Nintendo Switch 2 or if you're going to hold off, because it is going to be coming out on June 5th. And I am pretty curious to own one and really be able to have it at my home and try it out whenever I want. And to see how many people really do end up getting the console. But yeah, be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and see ya.
Looking forward to most about this film?
Well, I think I'm looking forward to cracking up. I hope I can, totally crack up. So I haven't, totally cracked up in a long time.